politics in and when the South Africa
what problem no?
What problem say? Wow, citizen and no worker. Who can find 300? Yeah? You can 300 a voluntary repatriation.
Yeah.
Whenever I say PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
The first group of Ghanaian nationals living in South Africa has been safely evacuated back to Accra. The repatriation exercise was voluntary and fully funded by the Ghanaian government amid rising xenophobic tensions in parts of South Africa. Some returnees say they initially moved in search of better economic opportunities, but now live in constant fear due to growing hostility towards foreign nationals. DW's Tuzo Kumalo reports from OR Tambo International Airport.
It's the final moment for these Ghanaians behind me here. As you can see, each person with their bag ready to go back to Ghana because of what they call the threats that have been made against foreign nationals here by those that are marching against undocumented foreign nationals that have given them until June the 30th to leave South Africa and leave for good. They insist that undocumented foreign nationals have entered the country illegally, and because of that, they are supposed to go back to Ghana. But now, let's just move and talk to the High Commissioner, Ghana High Commissioner here in South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, to hear what he has to say because he's here at the airport.
The first batch of Ghanaians that have voluntarily given their names to be repatriated to Ghana are here. We have close to about 500 people here who have been processed. Unfortunately, the first batch would have to be 310 in number. So we are getting ready to move them to the OR Tambo International Airport, where we'll continue with the processes of getting them onto the next available flight to leave for Accra, Ghana. These are proud Ghanaians, proud citizens of Ghana. Proud individuals who hold their heads high because they were here doing legitimate business, some documented, others undocumented. And I believe that the discourse is not about them being any problematic residents in this country. We've gone through all the processes. None of them, not even a single one of them, has been found to have any criminal record. And for me, that makes me proud. The most important thing again is that the government of Ghana has decided to listen to their call, take them back home, reintegrate them into the Ghanaian society so that together we can all fix our countries.
Based on the current situation of constant xenophobic attack or harassment from the South African people, I felt there is a need for me to go home.
I don't understand why they should leave. I don't see any point of them leaving. I don't see, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of space that are going to be felt that they left here. Already we are in a bad economy. I think that's the government's fault. It's not because of the people. I won't say the people have done anything.
Politics and when the South African youth started attacking, and diverted the attention of the black man or the black South African said, Al-Wahab, that's how what the girl said in 2000, in 2001, 2002, leading to 2002 more, and a double break first term. How many? And I know now Ghana phone starting cohort, now Nigeria phone starting cohort, a chair answer, and Uncle for starting so much. Double Becky didn't solve the issue of xenophobic attack because they diverted political attention of their laziness and bad governance. And South Africa is the only country on the African continent now our budget surplus. Our budget surplus, the budget tebika abrofuni jeska heavy and number big discount. Double Becky out of that, any inefficiency. And Jacob Zuma, who was also a militant within the ANC, the woman and a militant, Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Ghana passport, Tabo Beki, Jacob Zuma, any Oliver Tambo, Watala Susulu, Maria Makeba, they were all using Ghana passport. They were all using Mozambique passport. They were all using Zambian passport. They all used Zimbabwe passport because they were not part of the South African citizenship. I'm talking about the ANC then.
Okay.
Zuma Bayano. Time be on Ubenya political upheaval, any problem piano, no matter trigger. That time no the started Yokum Zuma. Wow, what in Mozambique, now you're militant and ANC for Pewaku, appetite system. I'm only woman to survive whom come to Donna. That about business are Rijmon Neka, and a rap a Sarah Ramaphosa way, no now exile. And also this stage here, and home started that time not gonna need and come Nigeria. Omuhan say Nigeria fight Yomma, Omuhan say Omatoka Moma, Omuhan say Nigeria fight say Omoya Drat Yomyesi. Isn't that the police? Omujina, Ada Yokum, Nigeria Niba Menka, I know Nima Yiniba, Yokum, that police fortune, they were nothing. South Africa has one of the best. I'm yet to see.
What problem, no?
I want to know what problem, sir. Wow, citizen and no worker. Of any part 300, yeah? You have 300 neba a voluntary repatriation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say young Kuan Tisia. Plan bank and you want more. That's bank and on the Bokofi.
Yeah.
Emergency service ban at their tour. Even though any penalty as a voluntary repatriation, yeah? You will see a shock on your face. Say, a Bibedu airport, you know, also needs to be cool. A Bibedu airport, now the can with Johnny and Wakoye, Waba, Ontinin Kofi. What is the government going to do? Have we planned that? You wait and see. Countries for my voluntary repatriation, even Liberia, come back over 10, 15 years, 20 years down. I did a voluntary repatriation. You and Befa move from Bujumbura, Domquay. Don't do airport. Do and every time I can say, you brought me, I have nowhere to go. And the government change at moments now. We are going to experience all that because you can't bring 300 people and expect of them to say, oh, we now be free airport for Fakakufi. Kumasi for bus are ready now. Go have region bus are ready. Takradi bus are ready. Makango bus are ready. Tamale bus are ready. How are we going to send them home? Okay. Are we going to line up and give money to them? Then you want crosses on the street. So at the end of the day, and this is a dicey situation now. Any problem at Yadiama Ghana government. The government should say, or your batampa, then I'm call for him. So what do you have to respond diplomatically? Call your high commissioner. Call him. South Africa, at the end, no need diplomatic idea. No, he ensure the reactions because Ramaphosa cannot use Africa for his political gains. And the long and short of the story is that South Africa has no problem. The xenophobic attack and the xenophobism, it is as a result of their political inefficiency, their governance inefficiencies, and the fact that from 1994 to today, they have not added to even put a 3% stock of employment. And Waja boys in good street. So who tells them the history? Malema tells them the history. They decode him, and he's been saying it. So don't follow the political system. They are confusing you to misbehave. Yeah. Before I leave the public, I leave you. Mumuta said, "Get now or trigger that action, no, that activist, no. They are what to say action, no.
And now can maintain say action, no. The minimum say news, no, Abba, and I maintain, yeah."
It is something I was expecting. I was expecting, say, the youthful, dynamic Minister of Foreign Affairs. Some of these things, Ghana and I have a banter, talking nonsense against our minister.
Yeah.
I expected His Excellency, Honorable Kujata Blakwa, Honorable Foreign Minister, to have issued a statement that girl is never allowed to enter Ghana. That is how you issue instructions. Every foreign minister, now we have a national, now commenting, who Busan said, on San Krum, on man and call for Jumanye, and then they will stop coming to South Africa. The girl, Namimusa said, the girl is not a governor.
Yeah.
The girl is not a mayor. The girl is not even a popular musician. She's just ordinary social media activist. I know her. That girl is not any municipal city executive or anybody out of South Africa government role.
Yeah.
How can such a person have some people with him and be moving from one shop and one office and to hospital to another? And nobody has called that idiot. I'm sorry, without any reservation. Nobody has called that girl into books. I expected on our part for South Africa embassy here to have a message for them that particular girl. This is no modern world. People know her name. Her name is all over. We instruct Ghana that girl is bound to come to Ghana. That is what America would have done to you. That is what UK would have done to you. That is what Holland would have done to you. That is what Nigeria would have done to you. Yeah? During the COVID time, BBC here, Buhari, and the UK. Now British Airways, Edin Nyansa, because the African ya Jimmy. Now on the plane, Nigeria for a war, Akoka UK, almost compared from Nigeria, Akota COVID. Now be UK, Waboma, no Domaba, Abuja, Namziko Airport. Now Boma, no Domuko Lagos Airport, Mutala, or British Airways caught twice a day, and we're making it thicker. Every time, no. And a Nigeria flight, Arik. Imagine said, you have to see about that take advantage because Nipan be a trap or her. If be a trap when you have to take it. British was a daddy. Johnson was a daddy. Oh, Mama, okay, and a Buhari said. I then Namu plane the Abamu, the Amon for COVID, ma. Yeah, the Abaha, the COVID. Okay, Martin. And a Buhari to tell woman. And we'll make you sure that British Airways need 2 flights. Baku ko Lagos. Home to 2 o'clock our UK. Baku ko Lagos, Baku ko your Friday saying Abuja. Like a way land here, 30 minutes away land. We are not no more. Okay. And to a China mo do Nigeria airspace. Omuamu do Nigeria airspace now. And His Excellency Buhari issue instructions. That the Nigeria Aviation Minister, and the Nigeria Aviation Ministry, and the airport and Nigeria Air Force. Well, be makwai ama a yes, you go to jail. So they have to communicate to British Airways. The passengers now boarding that they can return them to London. So Okaya and San and Kombetua and Koma Moka.
Yeah.
Now here's the case. Also, the only thing you are allowed to say, Omba maneuver a year circumferencing, Omba fly, or bet penny in the air or Nigeria airspace, yeah, fine. But to come to Nigeria, even with emergency, if any of the aircraft has in emergency, Uncle third world country or next country, about the foreign citizen, this is how Buhari solved the issue with British Airways. Either you stop or we stop, but if you stop, we come. Only at time they allow Eric to go. These are some of the things and how you harshly solve a nation's problem. And His Excellency President Mama, say I confirm the Amkra 300 number. You and I know.
Yeah.
Honorable Kujato, you and I know, say Ghanaians or South Africans, they are more than 5,000.
Exactly.
They took off 300 number. Obiwo, Blanfontaine, the Ghana, the good Limpopo, the Ghana, the home Pretoria, Omomo Eastern Cape, Omomo Port Elizabeth, up to Port Alfred, down Port Alfred, in the villages, in the mountains, Ghanaians is the and she said, well, yes, Diana. What's in Nigeria? Home governors, you heard them. Ghanaians are diplomatical. We don't do that in our parliament.
Yeah.
Home governor said, anybody that touches Nigeria, Nigeria should fight back. South is, we cannot talk like that. Parliamentarians will not do that. But not that we stand there. A life is incumbent on the next. If not anything, the African Union. The intimate bring it and for Sudan, South Africa, Ramaphosa government said, how can the president stand before the public and condemn the action and did not condemn the person who started it?
Who started it? Sure.
How up to today, South Africa wanted to show that the government is not part. How have they not arrested the guy? So you have empowered them. And they use it as a conduit for her to start. And then authority, no, hospital. Now, Obi phone, Obi General catches foreigners in this hospital. The doctors, look at that. Police force, our hospital, security force. Doctors need stabilize you, no foreigner, BMC. Can you imagine? And most of these foreigners are also fee paying. They are paying costs. When we call South Africa, I pay costs. When call for any free medication.
Yeah.
Fee paying. On what instructions was he talking? How bold was he? Have you heard say Yachi movie?
Debbie.
Have you heard Tadi disgrace on the face in MPZ woman to show as a deterrent? The girl is still going about, moving about overnight, and she has become the most popular girl in South Africa. Very popular now. Because when I triggered the xenophobic attack, you know what they do? Namusa will be said over a few Nyama. Yamacha rent 10 years. South Africa committee rent 2 years. The chair rent. And I'm doing Nyama good shop. Now we do Obiaba. If you run a Jimsika, our member. It is our Baba Pamia. If you run Tempsika, the man you mean Yamana.
Exactly.
There be Omon Panisao. They bring the person. This person must continue from here. Then that's the Malema is asking, said, the moment continue, and Yamane woman, one and a toy, and a two rent, enya na otuaye etu ba betua obi rent so and any government in this world our court our police in this world allow that to hold.
Not at
and
all.
then most of them now omagiju shops already hairdressing salons get hajin tro we say omina omakoya machines say omina oma vandalize. What has the South African government got to do? Diplomatic speech is free of charge. You don't pay for it.
Yeah.
A president can stand on the podium and talk, excuse me, nonsense. You don't pay for it. But when it comes to initiative action, it is payable. And what action has the South African government done? Has he paid those people doing that? He hasn't paid them. Not politically, not punitive, not legal, not you don't pay OBR. And how would the guys not be encouraged to go ahead? For Nigeria, for my Obia woman don't be doing it. Sabi Obia, She Anthony, St. Anthony area, Sabi, I just said downtown, Obia Chimubi, African Nomad. We know Obia, yeah, we never, we are Ghana, we are South Africa, Yang Nan Yeti 777, Yang Nan Yeti Zanzu. Now, we know to story, says xenophobic attack, Obia Nenatina, while when the Bower, the Banya 20 years, or no baby ago. Can you turn around to such a person? What Dina works here, Muno? Running a map because of laziness.
Yeah.
South Africans cannot see it. Nema Kwajima apartment. Nema Sisima. Now what you call first floor, second floor, ground floor. And then you come here and hire a room and look at how you. How can you talk like that in this part of the world? So yes, need them don't know, but they're able to remove the people and go and sleep in the room, enjoying the rest of the person's rent. What government says in this? I am a better woman. What government? And the bit I talk about diplomatical and action, and then not condemn the oppressive and what they are doing on the ground. What you catch to be a agent that they are unfortunate. South Africa government is market to be a agent shop. Go back to your shop and the police will protect you. Look at what to be that. And what are we talking about? His Excellency, what for you and I a resolution? This is the resolution I want you to table. You and your colleagues. In no time, very time, thank God, we see you on the throne of the African presidency of the African Union. Is that how we are going to sit down and look at Africa to be massacring Africans? Would that be what you do during your tenure? Answer is no. So if the answer is no, you have to act today. Because Nigerians were very jubilant. They were jubilating as you said. You came out to talk because Tinubu did not speak. So if you spoke him, please, let's move with an action. Monkolo, the South African membership. Either than that, the Cameroon is fifth. Gabon is fifth. Gabon, they are not doing a law. That Gabonese are because South Africa. When you have a problem, don't go to the embassy. It's on your own peril, your own fault. Because no one you woman. Wakofa bida. And look over your handful. Gabonese don't want to cry. Handful. Wakofa woman or catch him say. Gabonese be out before South Africa. No problem. A wild problem. Look at the Cameroonians. All Limpopo. They have established far longer than the Ghanaians. One maybe Kakra called Limpopo, not Ghana for 100% South Africa. And see, and our approach, our diplomatic approach, to me, is too slow. The response is too slow. Okay. The African Union will not do anything. The ECOWAS by now should have spoken because the ECOWAS member countries are more. Next to the frontline states. The frontline states, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. Mozambique is a South African and Mandela baby tonight. Oma Omina baby tonight. And on the ANC. They were the security and policing system in the world, in Africa. And compete with most of the European countries. Yemusa said, child xenophobic attack. It doesn't start from a day. Yeah. It doesn't start from a distance.
Sure.
There were internet and crime youth. When you're Gen Z, this is not a Gen Z. This is the serious South African adult program. Anytime, president, Ubakaya, Zuma, any problem. I'll be a vote of no confidence. First one, the Rokunan Komutunu, and will survive here. Second one, and a Cyril Ramaphosa way, Zuma, pushing out. Due to what? Negligence, unemployment, this, and the financial scams, baby, and the Zuma. And no one here came, Mr. Obakaya, jailing in 2 years. That time, you see the xenophobic attack to divert attention of the South African judiciary and then the noise, his popularity. Anytime a problem, Baba Zuma, no. It is the same thing around Cyril Ramaphosa. Obaye unpopular during the first regime. The first regime, the first 5 years, and then Ramaphosa, you confess Sika. which is the master see I mean okay say original impeachment. Sika over 4 million pounds in the farm. Sika over 5 billion South African rands on the farms. Dollars from you uncountable. The farms other than what the other was say, who as a president? I say we this Kakoto Bank. And now we can buy other than farms and that issue was what before the election. I know no need Julius Malema. What try I saw for the Malema too. Yes, so because he's the one hammering the issue and calling for the impeachment. And to a say, very impeachment there. Who Malema no Dikakum. So they organize the ANC government of all the 3 presidents after Nelson Mandela and no more organize it. Anytime their government is becoming unpopular, then they use the xenophobic street boys to go and do what they are doing. Because the point is that South Africa President no Awaba, Nelson the Mfanin Kaho, our creating employment of even 2% to add up. National Abrafun develop the whole country. South Africa need road. Only city, only community social services and then social infrastructure. South Africa need only their small shanty towns and your community there's what say but when you're talking about government high roads, government institutions.
You bet me I say AU as an organization, no, and I want more affairly because mine a member of the organization. It is a woman crop for one crop farmer so na yem pamo womo na yem crop for honor so mun crop for sorry say woman pe womu okrom wonom dia. Then send our Haboka no a responsibility for the AU say ka be act on it. What if say na AU day? Na AU day. AU day no so crampo no mo ye west. And radia mesinsem hunu omudi wo hode na nya asem kito omu rewra nkrofo shop mu a de o mehu bia no o mafa ena mo sa fa hu no mo de kro no so asan ka ho asem a misiko bibini tani awa ha ba kire mu na chese aban no felie na wo hwe na se be kwatia na no ahye akwa hyehye enkrofo bi achi no ma create sa situation no e wo kroma na se wo de afam wo ye bi pan e no de fam no wi ni ye won se wasa satia ye biem because wonim sese wa anya sa kroma fo na dwen be ye ne se wono mom no wa feli a wantimi amma ne ho moden African Union yenso yete ho ene yeso soso ade aba ko awa ha ba ka mani age ho ene se o senka by now e wo senka aban no wa call your ambassador no back to Ghana. Nanka asserting a strong record among say Adiana air cost no even in diplomatic space no nyadia ye bojo so nanka ya reaction ye kan saying Ramaphosa beti be ediama ye because our papa nankasa no or kasa na numasmo kawa bonten ko na ne actions so nko asemi ba ye as the president of the land wa granting interviews bebre ya press conferences and then some wa kan nyina one or the other no or person man looking like on for the air cost no so but what your history and there our have their mind na say underg as papa no shase o underground and na all me man crofobia kutupa o show kutupa and o moye ade a wo moye no ye bompa ye se nyame behu ye mbobo na ade na yankasa no aha awa ba hab na wo bisa se awa hab otimeka
aya
aha na me kasa abaya na o sha ase ne se
$19 million abrofo no baba bachi na ni bola ba menko mo amokumu ntafie ibola bachi mu then they descend on the forest and start to excavate and start to steal they start to steal the African Union knows this. Don't they know? Are they not aware? Are they spoken about it? What attempt an African Union? Yeah, Africa more. Are they normal people solve Sudan issue? Are they normal solve Sudan issue? Are they normal solve all the African countries everywhere? There's fight, there's killings, mass despair. Are they? So they cannot condemn South Africa's xenophobic attack and leave Sudan. They can condemn South Africa's xenophobic attack and leave Eritrea because they also have one of the worst bad presidents and this thing going on. They can't leave South Sudan, the youngest African nation, up to today, the soldiers for peacekeeping. Why can't they? So in Sudan, we are going to talk. And he has a pretty country, no. And we didn't know, we didn't know. They are talking about him for him. They are all among themselves. They have triggered the war. South Sudan, therefore, they are fighting themselves. Why is African Union? And they are African Union now. We say a useless organization. They don't have the power. They don't have the power, and nobody respects them. Nobody respects them. Nobody respects African Union. Because why an issue and the African Union has summoned Ramaphosa. We have the emergency system. His Excellency is aware. His Excellency, why is that ordinary Okujeto? My brother, we are advising. Every minister session comes before the African Union General Congress. And there is also a window where the foreign minister can also call for emergency session of the foreign ministers of African continent. Some may come, some may not come. The good number of the countries, you get them. Yeah. All the frontline states, they will come. All the West African countries, well, countries will be affected. When you call for foreign ministers meeting, and then you call your brothers, let the voices of the foreign ministers on African government talking. They interface and interact with their South African counterparts and tell them that we are not comfortable with what is happening and the solution is not strong. Your friend said, the declaration. I had turning the table of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. She was then the foreign minister.
Yeah.
At that time, and the fight, your friends, the coup, I take it, what to Afakundi, or Guinea. Over time, said the foreign minister of Ghana, Nairo Kobochi, I followed the emergency foreign ministers meeting. I did the foreign ministers of ECOWAS. And ECOWAS, Odompo Guinea. Have you forgotten?
Yes,
there is the approach.
Sure.
So, Mr. Okuyato and the foreign minister, whoever is listening, tell our brother that foreign minister has the capacity to invite his colleagues and call for emergency sitting of the Africa, because any emergency sitting here is triggered from the foreign ministry. So the foreign minister can call for all of them. They can invite them to Accra. Let it be Ghana's cost. But most of the country, they will pay and come. Nigeria and the foreign minister and Ghana make sure and take it into an hotel. No. We can hold them, but they will shuttle themselves and come. Now you know one chance in here and discuss about South Africa. Then we know we are finding solutions. And this is a diplomatic talk. You are compacting another 200 so Gadasi and Mafoma.
That's to be solved.
You can solve it. Solve it on the roots. Because if I do now,
yes.
Assam Kotuna is our problem. Is that how we want to solve our country problem with the country? Answer is no. Not at all. And drastically, we should let South Africa know so that they can force the system and stop. Either than that, Ramaphosa is a white South African. And the whites are even better than him in terms of the human rights record. He's very appalling. And every South African knows. Who will call impeachment? Who will be used to a yen as cash cow? Who does that?
Al-Wahab medasiano pay no adaji. Al-Wahab a international diplomatic consultant was a security expert and meneno akwa di nkomo no na se fiachi ni abofo and ensem nyina na Al-Wahab wabo ne tofa no and we are expecting say your foreign affairs minister honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa will act on this and affairs. So his excellency John Dramani Mahama AU will act on this because yenuano no mo honom no sabe ya ka wa ha no kwa yesi yehu yehu ano me economy no and shut down so yen ya evacuate wa mo de wo ma ba back no say na Al-Wahab ka ne hye be ne ya to ho amomo na omo ba bedru awie na omo abeda ne burden e wo yen so and now say you see there's no plan. Enya ba ku yo bedru ya Baba Ibrahim Ahama ema ne sika SNB cement e Jata cement depo ema ne ya na chese ono so ko bedru en kwa burden because we kom no kwa na ehwefie won na mane no ono aba bedru ha ya wonya nyahwe nyeye obeda na busuafo nso kura didi chese Africa na nkasa no ye yare ba kwekwa na se na mabie phone lines no eno na enya ne tie se abrantie ya one shada more number bia was sorry okeka na dwenchire obiye makacho say obia is entitled to his own opinion but when it come to say ka opinion no na kwadane atemdie direct ya eno na ye to da bia na ya sefem na koka eno police for invite no man koye the ama make us asem ni bi me na ka menka because or nyo be a was a me ha me ho kra se me energy won ho ba ne lawyer no na me ha me energy won ho ne lawyer na o twitwa age no eno amete se woni obi eye interview asempa Ghana ye wo problem o lawyer ni na wono e twitwa age abrantie no yes wono bomu kra sa akwa ntro but you see wo de tie we mame tie esa video wo be di ka tie ensem na akoka na mu kan ye no na afa watie interview na ne lawyer no e grante ye no wo de tie mame na me wi a maybe phone lines na ma wo so watimi abam
me say you do obi ani me make na we hide super o fomu apa wo be hu so wo ma wo school case aye wo hini a odi atem want to me antunifu oba report obi o shiwi oba report your family you do how you are already taking a side say we NDC ni okay say police is divided we understand but you know you have a family and you are just an officer a civil servant what you say the battle has just begun.
A few moments later.
No onya tumia obetre boyo se de etie na boyo nso so ebusuafo na ono no si ono na busuane ne achi ni se ya na se ne fasa kwan so obe se ya it is an encounter an interaction between ono and colleague ni nua enye bufuo so ne ade a ntokwa bi anim. But because the word police ever out, Ghana police force also assume more taking into that angle now, and also responding to appropriately. He share as the day and she, the police for the country.
And not just the police mentioned in the video, no, now any police as seen a Ghana police service officer.
Any Ghana police officer.
Boy or no, my friend police.
Boy, a friend police.
Oh,
Obi himself boy a friend police because boy or intelligence officer, and a different intelligence, a different police, a different national security, and different. You know, can police, and no margin and no see baby say Ghana police no refer to or no Ghana police any assem be aka. Now or the national Ghana police force. Now at the time, you be or respected the Ghana police service pa. Now, Ocean and Kita Hudi on the Ghana Police Service one say a more cordial, a more respectful than to say or threatening the Ghana Police Service. Never. Only yes, I didn't cry.
Now, in that video, at the time, na on a boy or no ins, and not boy or no one, not boy or no
boy or no
or the police
Ocean videos media. Ya call and I'm blog as a be. I don't boy. You don't know catch boy or say boy on can form because police and kita hudi or mudidada. And to have elevated this to the national level, no idea we can say, but sometimes a miscommunication
Well, it becomes so insulting when you see say somebody who should know better. Na nipa na ya na adwen said deliberately no obetwantro. Me can say lawyer ni o twantro. But me ma dwen kire be say asem na oka no enye no kre. Me no nyina ye tie video no, ye nyina ye tie video no ne ye hwe ye tie asem akoka kan. Me say koka no ko on deserve my attention. Ko say nkrofo bi wo ho no mo keka nsem hu na wu jai wo mo keka de on beka. Ko so no ani party panyi kro nya no wan fa spare no. Wo di Kennedy attempt say bia bi. Enti enye breaking news. Na de na me ya ne se Dr. Bawumiama ho kwan masa enkura na wa ba yo amadwen so be kasa ma no na ni agye nkomo a wo mu di no ho. Now listen, lawyer ni ne say koka an threaten police ni no. Me pa cho listen to guy ne words or say ade no hini na ono edidi atam na de mo anche no. Na de ono kwaka emi ni de mo ache no. Na ye bedru ye no wo wa kire se wo ye NDC ni. Nti e say the police no eye divided ana na minimu eye den na wasan kra podcast say wo ye civil servant me be say bibisa lawyer ni ne say say boyo say hwan na oka na wasem say o ye NPP internal security no ono na nakoka de no o ye civil servant no madua mo say mo betibi di nipa adue di agro wo kroma wo say I don't know aya mo hu anasa muhu nkrofo a wa Ghana ha say omo ye nkrofo no mo di machi ni bia na say mamu nwe saa o We are not dumb. Some for the bin asabi or more shallow mind. I know you know what shallow mind. Yen you are to me analyze this asaba obiaka. Asama branch ye can ye, and yet then a lawyer new mua. Unfare. Na nya police for no ade obo na one your internal security ba kwa friend say was say bo house hwan edi no krapo say o your internal security na your friend police na wo ka say ohuru yadim kosoro ho e free da ben na NPP internal security ni o your civil servants wona wo si dipa no nya police ni na ne o your internal security lawyer o your internal security na mo ne call ho na mo kwaduru ye no na abrantie na ho keka wo fom no na ho keka na wo fom no insusanso ben na wo case no so obi akwa case ati obi ene ya chi ni pakro na mo nyina amakọ ho enti na ho keka ben na ka ko ka expert say sa bo house bo na o say bo house me I don't even know the name then na ka ko ka expert say onye but statement our car ya no say ye bedru ya no wanda wodi a kire se wo ye DC ni na ye den na mo party internal security obekwa ya no wo so ye DC ni is it adding up? No, is it adding up? Lawyer enokafo akwa or something. One kasa wo wi a interview now when you obi ye no kokko bonatie. One listen to yourself and be honest to yourself. Senti asema no me kan wo radio sui nti asemi na enokre pani because kwaka refer to nipa na no ne kasa say we are civil servants. You are just an officer. That is the word he used. I say you are just an officer. So you are civil servants. Ye dim baby awo mawo hwe asem na eba na ye say ho he na ebi awo na ka wo ya lawyer ni no wa be ka asem na de nsu agu asem no so na ebi aposi ni no ko ye involve no wa ka asem ya che say oh we ko ka wo ka ne kwa wo ni hwe wo ka bibi to make asem no so asem no kwa he didn't mean it ebi ya bufu ana out of frustration and the ka asem no but to lie on top of it etu kwakwa to awe na de ba court sana one mu internal security ni ena ekasa eti ye bo video ni ma e wo court ho ni e ka cho say wan kasa interpret video yi e kire say no ne internal security ni ena ekasa. How will you interpret it? There are 3 strong words e wo video num. Or say you are just an officer, one word. Or say mo ba some say police no are divided. Number 2, the atosumiensa and say we are civil servants. And so no aka me ni baby say ni baby a wo mawo ye nim say inti e den na say bo house bo na wo say hwan na wo ka na asem say oya mu internal security ni na mo ne call ye na ho keka no wo fom eti aho keka be na ka ko ka so hu wo sa brante no ono onye police onye investigator onye court ye ka na say worker eti den na ka or person wo ye. You think we are case? No, I can't say we are to radio, so now what you see me and bound. And now when I was listening to the man, may obi the try video and I jam a chance on it or on social media, and I'm like, lawyer in the cancer same way. And on the clients and on the video no one monty. As a man, you must say Ghana for the to someone crop for the dimachino. And on a man, I know about your muchina. And no po make us me kra na minim say abaya no kra so me kra wadidi matem da wo. You see, because those people I don't follow them and I will not even get access to their videos. So you will insult me and it will be on your page. And one more follow on the behu me hu. And obi obey me bi aso ni nyansa to the stand they say uncle for say video na fa say dem say me hwe so obi didi matem. What you say? And no me say eye hwanpo. Me say MPP mpanyifo bi obo wa Ashanti region. Oh, me refi atenko kasa wo ye ka na say nkrofo radio isu. And I akra no oya janka o. And akra no what say na ne papa kra waja no. And akra hey. Yeah, Radi Nyankopon. Yeah, Radi Nyankopon. enti say ya na mo be ya mo party mucha sabuda mo ma wen say mo be say party now to the sense mo person Dr. Bawumia be president ade MPP for ya no enye obi na ye omo eye deliberate say ade na kwa say Dr. Bawumia no ya fa na ma o meka bibi say wo ye say be free esirebu nti ene ye to abatia no to de ye fa ne mbra ne ma ni lusu because where the afanya make ye where the opon krome ye wo de where the kokofu ye wo de where the sampan mo ye wo de ahwe where the asinkwadua frempo where the jomboadu mo ye check all the leadership where the nabi where abra papa ba ko no the first vice or second vice da wakasa how no look at their attitude look at how wo mo ye omoniema they are making the party more unattractive. Just one good party internally no omo say party no say na be about Bawumia to be your president ade no omo ye no you people you think say ye na ya person Bawumia be president irrespective say Dr. Bawumia or ye incompetent no ade ono ade party for na ye no they are making him unattractive say eno me tie lawyer na me si ewo ai Debbie panyi pa lawyer ni asama ani da ho sei adabraka enye ye nyina na ye damp saa o nye ye nyina ensam akoka akeka wo krom ha metimi aka se wakeka de boro de omode invite ni kura so ba wade nam krom ha na no nkrofo si o wakanya asasem kakra na mse de ben wonu awa hu se nkrofo no se de wo mo aka so mo ho no wo mu di sem hu no dodo nti na bia okeka sa asem no munya no na lawyer ni mu ana wo so abegira radio so a wo se keka wa wonim se asem a wo kenye no kɔ mimi hwe video yi kura metimi analyze video ye hu se na e bia bɔhye ba wonya police ni Samson ti we wonya police ni na mimi gina ha camera da me so hwe ba bia Samson ti na ma yere me ho ai so ye CMG waka keke wo ye be hia wa abonten ho ne ye be duru ha no wa kyerɛ sɛ wo ye anti CMG na fa ade kyea ne ye bisa me ameso o enye Samson na me ne kasa na na odike so odike de ono anya adwu does it make sense me wa ma mention CMG of which Samson is part of CMG ade kyea ya meso o da bi enye Samson na me de odike na kura na wo kasa asem ya kire njo begiedi one mention you are just an officer listen to the words or say you are just an officer so we are civil servants ye bedru ha no wa kire say we are NDC ni den na MPP ni be ka kire ne yonko NPP ni say wo ya wo ho say we are NDC ni no does it even sit well we are some lawyer ni ka o obi aka kire say na yankasa ye internal bodyguard na abranto na very intelligent part obi afra police aso dem kura na edi nkomo me yama Bawumia o kwan amode Bawumia fa so na me yama no ono amu na ankasa no ye incompetent enti nkamoa na kawagya be ne hu dede no waye popular kakra ese mo atwa mo ho ama TikTokers ne bloggers no kura mo ye o mo popular che mo akasa mo candidate no because abo tinasi bia mo bloggers no na mo di o mo ho nkomo forgetting say you have a candidate to sell nyame hu mo bo
onu go through appetite. It's a country onu called racial segregation. In a country the black man was not raised, was a race but not a citizen of South Africa until 1994. How many of them? Ramaphosa among political actors fine. South Africa was not citizen but none who passport that. Boys na yes and get so mama no papa. Why not so who passport that? Because they were not even qualified with the South African population rate. They were not part of it. Now yeah sacrifice here as a country, as the only country that went to United Nations and told them say until South Africa system be done, Ghana sacrificing Ghana passport does not go to South Africa. Well, you don't have your black passport first one and go South Africa. This is how we protest for them. Now, His Excellency, your mama, they are not out of history. They know all this history. Next is South Africa. We are fighting. Yetimako African, Yetimako, your friends, the UN. Africa pressing the agenda of what reparation, and then the resolution for the world to accept say yes, there's certain crime against humanity. Let's keep place the slave trade. your mama, His Excellency, was able to push that agenda. Is that not the case?
Yes.
I'm here to see an emergency session, resolution to be tabled by our president, forcing all the African countries and those who will just vote. So if they will not stop the xenophobic attack, let us isolate them. Have they done that? No. Why haven't we done that? And we're able to force the world. We're able to force the world to adopt and admit. And then France, or prepare. So on the Watias here, UK, they are won't you, America won't you, other countries, they are not interested to pay. But at the end of the day, it has gone in books of the history of the world, say, a certain resolution tabled by the Ghana president, His Excellency Your Mama, which is a great achievement. Nobody could have that boldness to do that. He has done it. New energy. As I said, they will product to be rebranding.
Yeah.
So they rebranded the African Union or Organization of African Union to African Union. That was Durban. President Kofomo na yes adian. President Thabo Mbeki and another certain president on the GC in Naso. President Obasanjo. President Olusegun Obasanjo. President Mugai. These were the ranking members of the African Union. What was the killer? The rebranding. Your charter, your declaration, your name, Ayan Sanya, or your son, or you come, free movement of the national citizens of the African continent. And to me, means that will be a team could be a cruise without any problem. And it's saying, right of stay. To enable me to meet my South Africa as an African citizen from Ghana, I could pay resident permit without any hassle about it because I have global village. And it's saying right to do business among ourselves. And no, and I find that chair cry a big developer Attàck. And yet the white elephant Attàck, I be see a cry. I've got to go to Ghana for any business here. All these things were taking place, and that took place in South Africa. Durban. And especially immigration. Over year 2002, Ghana by only Kenya, only some few countries. Kenya be in the border. Emma, some of the countries say do airport and San Wajin visa. And I say country which is Ghana and Obi and no visa free. Ubi airport kwa wunchia. Other countries here. Ghana, my border say Africans can enter Ghana and take visas on arrival. Countries they no more visa free here on give visa or airport. South Africa, they never opened even where the laws were enacted. As we speak, on in Nigeria, only more or less any visa. But here is the case. Useless because up to today. His Excellency, Your Mama, and Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. They played a very nice role in this. But that is how we solve diplomatic issues that involves the national and part the Togo and Côte d'Ivoire. So who was that problem with? Now Saboka, Yakofa Yankura 300. Before said country, because we have voluntary repatriation for 300 people. Higher nationals cause they are trapped. Because of the conditions meted out to them, no. What you do is say, that country, no, need diplomat or chrome. Said the own pound, but dear was South African. What for so who say when you are there, yet dear, old friend of my neighbor.
Back, ambassador, no honor.
Yes,
okay.
Old friend say when you're there, Omra. Now with the foreign service personnel, the Omo, Omba organizing, them to announce to South African government over this. I am not happy. Ghana is not happy. We are bringing our ambassador, head of a high commissioner back so for consultations. Now we Now what foreign service HOC for head of consular service. Any Omar Kanu Jomho, Omit my organization was because at the end of the day, Omar a ambassador and senior high commissioner. Omo Diana Wahan, no what Jan now Kano. Not sure how they will react. Nemo Nigeria one year media. South Africa ambassador, high commissioner in Nigeria, what that you hope. Nigeria High Commissioner in South Africa, what that you hope. Gambia or that you Nigeria or Al-Wahab. So if you look at this from all these points, Tanzania issued strong warning. Also, a South African citizens cry and make room. But when you hear South African ambassador, High Commissioner, and on fair or not so media, I'm taking this sequence and series for us to understand the approach of the Africans and the African Union members over the South African issue. Nelson Mandela went states on power from 1994 up to 1999. Mandela be free mono, not his presence. Mandela free mono. Tabo Mbeki at time and the start here. Tabo Mbeki time on the start is Xenophobic attack. First one. And send a Zuma back to back. Zuma Habu too. Cyril Ramaphosa the third time. And look at the sequence. Yes, Mandela ebeji free abrofo no. Now the whole world me no me ebra no mapum. In say na ulma no woye na djuma. Na djuma obey no. Of course, when man create employment, because no ntimi one or better or reconciliation and then reorganizing of the South African institution. Our ma so South African for or say my emfa ba ni sika ni abrofo na chido my yenti dabi. Name of institution no yamfa yaso yehunwam. Eno adwuma no obey. Enti papa no brave so wa dem 27 years. Waba out, be 2 years, Wata be leader for 5 years. He was commonly tired and was the matter Tabo Mbeki. Tabo Mbeki by no. And Yaman and Koye. And Yaman to the Google Aquam, not South Africa for any Patutum, Amoma public and government civil services. I had the police, if you had the hand. One would have expected Sen Yamabesina. And Wabaha, PW, every institution. And they receive one of the best salaries as South Africans. Up to now, all welfare service, welfare, you cheer or bow on him, South Africa, cheer and cracker, one more free school education. And to we are president, or problem, they say, what's your whole wide Julia, Juma? I will be anywhere, why just South Africa, Juma? Ghana for 90% of the Ghanaians, the money member, meaning said will be a bishop. Where suffer, that was Ghana. I also saw South Africa. Or no Musa hairdresser. Ghana need all South Africa beyond Mako mechanics. We mechanics near Kuma and Nukrano. You need South African mechanic in the neighborhood like let's say Dansuman. We Nabako bit my physical type. Our one area, Congo, Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria. All their mechanics. In Jumane Kwaji and Juma, Oman Yebi. Hairdressing South Africa need get Biennois. If in a book room, I'm going to South Africa forget Abetna. And in Yama, Omuya Lukuma. Muncha Bakuko in Tribo. Muncha Bakuko in way to fix it. Dana for the fix room week. And in a person who South Africa, Nibabia, ya, what charity Dankas. Then get to charity Dankas, and then a cat. Because they didn't have Abrafuna woman Bomuti. And Abrafunu no Bianco Uncle Bochi, Mali for Uncle Bochi, Ghana for Uncle Bochi. Weeks of today, I buy a week. South Africa need better wigger. Then you Ghana near or no banner moving Shamano. And you Nigeria no moving Shamano. And you Cote d'Ivoire no moving Shamano. Because there's no South African hairdresser. Fine work for Juma. Now you're talking about phone shops. Yeah. You're quite cheap. Nigeria for the phone shops in now. You're quite there because the old Ghana, Namia Fiura. I'm not talking about the feeling Yama said Wumfiano. Yeah. Nemo can stop. That was circle. Yeah, phone say I was a circle. Phone say I was a circle. That I'm not gonna for boys in a way. They didn't like it. They saw phone business as no nothing. And a lot of phone Kai and Umkoji. And now and yes you who say phone business come. Your cost to cry titulina. You're bringing as much as many as nearly 5,000 to 10,000 active boys and girls. I will run in the phone industry. How many of them are Nigerians? Good number of them. After Niako, Yapamu. There be. Then in Nigeria for phone shops. There be. Bigger shops, smaller shops in your latter phone there. Omkra Naji shops in Dumbia Mahagana. Yapamu. There be. In South Africa. Was in Nigeria for Mema at the Toka Mumuma. South Africa was a latter for Edu Muma Baga and Nigeria. Big, the video. Home video guests in South Africa for guests. And their boys are the most laziest in the world. They're jealous. Yes, of course. They don't work. Because white man, who call baby or farm near the idea. or the South African needs or find a Juma or bad there at the actual because Oma Jumano union is strong. It will be a Juma 2-3 days a pair or so I run your Juma beam. Go needing to me unity and so said Chianica. It's done at the end of 1 foul. 1 foul. Into government offices, civil services, what were been the police? What were been the what was a doctor that Omia home fear? I don't know more Palm Street, say woman by Dan, Omo come hospital, Palm doctors. I don't know more come English schools, South African schools, one way English country, Bruniama, South African black permanent English near the chair. What did they do? And you can't afford a question South Africa post Nelson Mandela. Mandela by 94, or by Ghanaian tickets. Nigeria form Ombi. Till today as we speak. Boys didn't quite a seminar. One way or the other, English master was a Ghanaian. I don't know Pamu. Why don't they sack their professionals? They were orthopedic surgeon, one of the best in the world. We're Ghanaian or South Africa, but we're one of the best in the world. I don't know Pamu. So you look at this, they choose and pick what they want to do. Because a certain president called Cyril Ramaphosa or impeachment. He started last year when he was about to lose election. And we had nationalist approach said, no, we trigger boys from a chief. Say, I want to say, and what did that to go through election or the winning year? So say impeachment in Abba. Look at the correspondence and look at the one Melema problem opposed to push agenda at any tool. And Melema so I expose you because he's always the one holding the evidences of Nyaman go pushing the South African administration over on a crime. No? So you can't have $4 million up to now dollars, £4 million in says can won't justify it. And you know the xenophobic attack in Abba. They raised the bar of security of the country. How did they raise the bar? When they raised the bar, a state of emergency. Or back to television, so Mamunka Ghana for a new Oma, Mamunka Nigeria for a new Oma, Mamunka will say, where is the African Union? Which country in Africa? We've had Tunisia uprising. We've had Egypt and a woman among themselves, only two Omo governments. That is the difference in Arab Spring. Arab Spring one concern Nigeria and India mono. Arab Spring one accuse Ghana and Libya. But xenophobic attack of its day, modern day, in the whole entire Africa. It's a country.